Supply is a schedule or a curve showing the various amounts of a product that producers are willing and able to make available for sale at possible prices during a specific period of time. The law of supply shows that there is a positive or direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. As price rises, the quantity supplied will also rise. As price falls, the quantity supplied will also fall. The upward slope of the supply curve reflects the law of supply. Producers offer more of a good, service or resource for sale as its price rises. Demand is a schedule or curve that shows the various amounts of a product that consumers are willing and able to purchase at possible prices during a specific period of time. There is a negative or inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Economics call this inverse relationship the law of demand, which has a fundamental characteristic. As the price falls, the quantity demand rises. As the price rises, the quantity demand falls. The inverse relationship between price and quantity can be represented on a simple graph. Quantity is standing on the horizontal axis. Price is standing on the vertical axis. The downward slope of the demand curve represents the law of demand. People buy more of a product, service or resource when its price falls. The equilibrium price is a price where the intentions of buyers and sellers match. It is the price where quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. So graphically, the equilibrium price is indicated by the intersection of the supply curve and the demand curve. Competition among buyers and among sellers drives the price to the equilibrium price. Quinoa markets bring together buyers, demanders, and sellers, suppliers. This market involves demand supplying price quantity. Competition requires that more than one buyer should be present in each market. Economics assume that price is the most important influence on the amount of any product purchased. Determinants of demand can be consumers' taste, consumer income, prices of related goods, consumers' expectations, and number of buyers in the market. The supply curve assumes that price is the most significant influence on the quantity supplied. The determinants of supply are resource price, technology, taxes and subsidies, prices of other goods. producers' expectations, and number of sellers in the market. Quinoa was mostly produced by poor farmers in the Andes. Bolivia was the main exporter, and Peru produced quinoa to eat it themselves. They consumed around 3/4 of what they produced in 2004. However, as the rest of the world discovered quinoa, demand outstripped supply. At the peak of the boom, quinoa was going for $6 a kilogram. This was more than triple the rate. The soaring price of quinoa completely transformed global production. Prompting a large increase in supply, this raised the quinoa price. Existing farmers used quinoa crop to sell, and new growers were enticed in. Agro-businesses switched over their crops. Even taxi drivers started growing quinoa as a side business. Now, more than 50 countries around the world are growing it, so Bolivian producers lost their price setting power. In 2012, Bolivia exported more than quadruple the amount of quinoa as Peru. But in 2015, Peruvians undercut the Bolivians to export more than twice as much. As the demand increased, the new producers could offer quinoa. Since its peak, the price of quinoa has fallen by 40% between September 2014 and August 2015. The market rate for quinoa is currently $2 per kilogram. This is low compared to the $260 that Further Foundation says is necessary to have a decent standard of living. Due to the drop in price, Peruvian producers are holding on to the unsold quinoa stock, which means they cannot compete on price alone. In the long run, to raise the quinoa price, Peru will need to sell their produce as original authentic quinoa producers to raise the quinoa price.